Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today are reviewing Pinocchio, now streaming on Disney+. This is the newest live-action adaptation of a Disney classic. Obviously, we've gotten, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Lady and the Tramp, and they all kind of are good to varying degrees. And I think this one as well falls kind of in the middle. We all know the story of Pinocchio. I don't feel like I need to rehash any of the plot that happens in this one. There's a few new songs, obviously some returning of some classics, some minor tweaks to the original film, but I do think it does a good service to the original movie. Since that one came out, many, many decades ago, I think it'll be cool to introduce this film to more audiences, maybe some younger children that don't watch some of the classic films, and some of them, don't hold up as well as others. I think Pinocchio is a really interesting movie. It's one of the weirdest Disney movies, and I'm glad that they decided to reanimate it and bring it to like the live action sphere, because it's a weird movie and they bring a lot of that weirdness to this one. Even though this movie is tagged as a live action remake, there's obviously a ton of animation. We've seen this in a lot of them, whether it be Jungle Book, and even though it's a live action, there's a ton of animation, and I think it looks really good. They always do a good job of animating animals in the Disney world because, they have a lot of assets to work with, and I think this one, whether it be Figaro or Cleo or Honest John, I think they all look really, really solid. I actually really enjoy the animation style of Honest John in particular, and I think that Keegan-Michael Key does a really good job of playing this character who's super animated, he's deceptive, he's charismatic, and I think he's one of the standout performances, even though he's not in it a ton. One of the biggest changes is that Cynthia Erivo plays the Blue Fairy, so obviously that's a big departure from the original animated film, but I think she does a really good job singing the song. It's a really good take on this classic song that everybody loves. When You Wish Upon a Star is probably one of, if not the most iconic Disney song. I think she does a good job. There's obviously going to be people that have some issues with changes. There's always people that have issues with changes in these Disney movies because they're so beloved and so classic, but it's always good to give it just a little bit of a refresh. I think that Joseph Gordon-Levitt did actually a really good job voicing Jiminy Cricket. I didn't know what to expect because I don't think of Joseph Gordon-Levitt when I think of Jiminy Cricket, but it doesn't even sound like him. He did a good job of emulating that classic voice while still making it like distinct enough that it's not like a total just, rip off of the original. He does look a little strange. I got used to it, but in the beginning, it is just like this weird anamorphic thing between a cricket and a person. It looks like a little weird cricket person hybrid. And when you're looking at the classic animation style, it's really cute. But in this one, it's a little more uncanny. But I think by the end of the movie, I kind of gotten past it, and I really do enjoy that character. I think Jiminy Cricket, like I said, is one of the best sidekicks in like Disney history, essentially. Tom Hanks plays Geppetto in this one. He's not in it a ton, like Geppetto isn't in it like a huge amount in the original film. He does a pretty decent job. It feels weird after watching him in Elvis. It's the same like weird accent thing he's doing, and it is almost a little distracting. That was a criticism a lot of people had in Elvis. I think in this one it has the same thing going on. It's this weird like European accent on him. So it's not great, it's not horrible, it's just one of those in the middle of the road things. Like, do we really even need such a great actor to play this role? They're actually the standout characters in this movie, and it might be a little divisive because it's a little crazy, is Luke Evans plays the coachman, the person that kind of captures Pinocchio and takes him to Pleasure Island. He's like totally over the top and totally ridiculous. I liked him as Gaston. I think he was one of the standouts in that remake, and I think in this one he does another good job. He's totally going for it. It may seem like he's hamming it up a little ridiculous. The whole scenes where they go to Pleasure Island and the children are turning into donkeys and you have like the smoke monsters coming, it's so crazy. Because it's the thing about Pinocchio is when you go back and watch the original, while it has some incredible themes that hold true still today, and that's why it's a great remake, it's just weird. It's a weird movie, and it looks even stranger in live action. It kind of feels like a fever dream at times, but I think as far as just being a remake of the original, it's perfectly serviceable. There is the introduction of some new characters. Pinocchio has this girl he befriends when he's captured by Stromboli. She's like a puppeteer, so he kind of has this relationship between the puppet and her, and it's wholesome, it's fun, it adds another element to the movie. Whether it's really necessary or not, I don't know, but I do think this movie is obviously really geared towards children and teaching children, to be honest. That's the theory of Pinocchio, is he lies, his nose extends. So in this one, they're kind of telling you to, stick to what's true to you. Don't lie. Don't pretend to be somebody you're not. And then also don't give in to peer pressure. Those are the two big themes. Obviously, see in the beginning, there's the not lying, and then the Pleasure Island thing. He's kind of gets peer pressured into going there, and it's this whole story about him being roped into it. So I do think those themes work really well. Just, it's one of those things where it's a live action remake. It looks fine. It doesn't look absolutely incredible. I don't think it looks as good as maybe The Jungle Book or Beauty and the Beast or even The Lion King. It looks fine. It looks like something, if you like Pinocchio, you'll probably like it. If you're like a diehard Pinocchio fan, you don't want any changes from the original source material, maybe you won't like it. But if you go into it as someone who doesn't have a huge attachment like I do, or maybe some young kids, I think it's perfectly enjoyable. So if I were to rate Pinocchio, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Like I said, it's not the best live action remake in my opinion. It's not the worst live action remake. It falls kind of in the middle. I would love to see what people's opinions are. I'm interested to see someone who's like a really big original Pinocchio fan, how you feel about it, or someone who has like maybe never seen the original film, how you feel about it. Because like I said, it's a kind of an amalgamation. It's not like a pure remake, and it's not like a total new revamp of this movie. So I'll be interested to see what people think about it. So when you check out Pinocchio, let me know what you think about it. Leave your comments down below. Always love to hear people's opinions. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.